Before I get to today's game review, here's a bit of backstory. We all know that in 1988, Sega put out the Sega Genesis, which had 16-bit graphics and ran on blast processing. Yeah, the reason why it was advertised this way was because their rival, Nintendo, only had the Nintendo Entertainment System at the time, which was only 8-bit. This lasted for 3 years, mainly because Nintendo did eventually put out a successor to the NES called the Super Nintendo, which also ran at 16-bit just like the Sega Genesis. The Super Nintendo also had a much better sound chip and even better graphics. Sega saw this as a detriment to their system and feared that sales of the Genesis would drop, and yeah, that did kinda happen. As a result, they decided to make an attachment to the Genesis. So they created the Sega CD, which was also known as the Mega CD in other countries. This tumor on the Sega Genesis got rushed out in Japan on December 12, 1991, right around the time that Super Nintendo got released. It didn't come to America until October of 1992, and the attachment unsurprisingly got very mixed reviews.
Hey! You still don't have a Sega CD? Huh? What are you waiting for, Nintendo to make one? You have seen the games, right? Wrong answer, man. Show 'em!
While the Sega CD was praised for its much better graphics and CD quality audio, which was a better option to using a sound chip, the Sega CD was also criticized because the FMEs looked like garbage, the load times were atrocious, and not to mention the incredibly stupid decision that if you wanted to play the Sega CD, you needed to have a Genesis attached to it, despite the attachment having its own fucking AC adapter. Now, this was the early 90s, so let's put that in perspective. The Sega Genesis was launched at just $189, according to a few websites I've looked into. At the time, that must have been pretty low. And it certainly must have benefited Sega since the NES and the Super Nintendo both costed $200 at launch. So, how much would the Sega CD attachment cost? You're probably thinking, okay, well, you can't play it separately, so it must cost less than the Genesis, $149.99? $9.99? Hell, $49.99? Nope. It was launched at $299. What the fuck? That's way more than the Genesis! Who the fuck was gonna buy this? So, unsurprisingly, the Sega CD sold horribly, with only 2 million units being sold, which is pretty pathetic compared to how the Sega Genesis sales went over 30 million. I mean, at least people bought the Sega CD. How well did the Sega 32X sell? Yeah, pathetic. But, were there any decent games that were made for the CD attachment? Yeah, kinda. A lot of the Mega CD games got cult followings like Night Trap or Snatcher. However, there was one game that actually received critical acclaim when it was first released on the Sega CD, and that game was one of the sequels to Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was Sonic the Hedgehog CD, or just Sonic CD if you want to shorten it. And despite Sonic CD receiving high praise from critics, it didn't sell that well, mainly because the Sega CD didn't sell that well because it was a piece of garbage. This would end up causing Sega to go back to making games on cartridges. Luckily, Sega didn't just toss Sonic CD in the trash. The game would later be ported to the PC, and this version would also be available on the Sonic Gems collection. And since the PC clearly had far superior specs than the Sega CD, the game's FMVs got restored to their original forms and now ran at a decent frame rate, not to mention the load times were much shorter. This wouldn't be the last time Sega gave Sonic CD a special treatment. During Sonic's 20th anniversary, Sega announced that there was going to be a new, enhanced port of Sonic CD. This port was developed by Christian Whitehead, who was previously known as the Taxman, a member of Sonic Retro who was also working on his own Sonic fan game, Retro Sonic Nexus. But in 2009, he put the project on hold because he contacted Sega about porting Sonic CD to mobile devices. This led to Taxman creating the new port for not just iPhones, but also for consoles and Steam, and the port got released worldwide on December 14th, 2011. This is the version I'm going to be reviewing mainly because it was the first version I played, and it's hands down the best version of Sonic CD, and I'll explain why over the course of my review. When you start the game, you're treated to an amazing animated cutscene showing Sonic doing what he does best, running. I'm pretty sure this animation got cropped to be 16:9, which is a severe pet peeve of mine when it comes to framing movies. At least the mobile version fixed this. It still looks gorgeous though. While Sonic's running around, a planet called Little Planet forms right next to Mobius Earth, just chilling and shit. However, Dr. Eggman returns and decides to try and take over the small planet, and instead of using just the planet's animal life to power his Batniks, he also targets the plant life. He also chains the fucking planet to a mountain so it can't leave Earth, so Sonic heads into Little Planet to stop Eggman's evil plans like usual. The gameplay is just about the same as Sonic 1 and 2. All the item boxes from Sonic 1 return, and even Sonic's sprite is the same as Sonic 1. He didn't look that much different in Sonic 2, except he had a darker shade of blue applied to his fur. Oh yeah, one item I forgot to mention in my Sonic 1 review were the Speed Shoes, an item box that once smashed, Sonic speed gets increased for a bit. This was also brought back in Sonic 2. Sorry, I kept forgetting to mention it. One thing that's new is Sonic's Super Peel Out. To use it, all you have to do is hold up and mash the jump button. Let go and you'll be shot forward a good distance. Sonic still has a spin dash, but in the original version of Sonic CD, the spin dash seemed to have been neutered. In Sonic 2, you could only press the jump button once and you'll travel a good distance, but the original spin dash in Sonic CD needed to charge up a bit. Thankfully in Taxman's port, we have the option to use Sonic 2's spin dash. One thing I like doing is doing a quick charge on the Super Peel Out, and right when I'm about to get shot forward, I press down so I can roll for a bit. It's pretty satisfying when I kill enemies this way. In the levels, you'll see that you run past these signposts that are either labeled past or future. Why exactly? Well, that's another part of Sonic CD's plot, time travel. After you run past one of these signposts and run a good distance, you'll see that Sonic starts glowing. Run much longer without being stopped and you'll travel to either the past or future, depending on what signpost you last ran by. What's the point of time traveling? Well, you see, Eggman is trying to take over a little planet, and if you decide to go to the future first, you'll see that the environment looks horrible. This is known as the bad future, and there's not a single live animal to be found and all the plant life is dead. So essentially, in these bad futures, Eggman fucking won. To prevent this from happening, you have to travel back to the past. In the past, you have to explore the levels to find a machine that Eggman sent there to start affecting the animal and plant life. You simply jump at the machine to destroy it, then if you go back to the distant future, it's bright, cheerful, and there's not a single batnik that could get in your way. But if you don't feel like time traveling, there is a second option, which is collecting the time stones. Yup, time stones, not Chaos Emeralds. You collect them through the usual special stages, and you access them in the same way you access the special stages in Sonic 1 by collecting 50 rings and jumping into a big ring at the end of the level. These levels are full of 3D, and all you have to do is jump at a bunch of UFOs before the time runs out. The original version of these special stages fucking sucked, mainly because the collision detection and the frame rate were horrible. Thankfully, Christian Whitehead decided to recreate these stages with much smoother controls and a better frame rate. They really are just recreated from the ground up and are actually playable this time. They're not that bad anymore. After you collect all the 7 time stones, the game gives every zone a good future, where all the plants and animal lives have been restored as wildlife roams free throughout the level. It also gives you the good ending. Obviously, since the time stones aren't Chaos Emeralds, collecting all of them will not give you the ability to turn into Supersonic. Meh, that doesn't really bother me that much. You've probably noticed that this game looks downright beautiful. If there's one thing the Sega CD knew how to do right, it's the graphics. None of the levels have bland landscapes. Each environment looks bright, colorful, lived in, and even the bad futures look hauntingly pretty. Plus, since the Sega CD was capable of using CD quality audio, we're hearing real instruments and high quality MIDIs, which makes both of the game's soundtracks sound great. Yep, this game has 2 soundtracks. One made for the Japanese/European versions, and one made for the American version. Why? I have no clue. Some people say it was because the Japanese version was too bouncy and that it didn't fit the attitude Sonic was known for having in the States. It's really one of the most confusing moments in video game history for me, especially since the past music in both versions are the same. Which soundtrack do I prefer? Honestly, I like both of them equally. The Japanese version is certainly more elegant and downright beautiful at points, but I also love how 90s and cheesy the American soundtrack sounds. The electric guitar is used greatly in that version. And since there are 2 soundtracks, this also means the game has 2 theme songs. In America, it's Sonic Boom, and in Japan, it's Sonic Warrior. Sadly, in the Christian Whitehead port, the lyrics for Sonic Warrior got removed because of a licensing issue. Apparently, Sega owns the instrumental part of that song, but not the lyrics. Makes perfect sense. Hopefully it can get resolved in some kind of update that can put the lyrics back in. Even the end credits song, Cosmic Eternity, got its lyrics removed. Great. Thankfully, the American theme song, Sonic Boom, remains untouched. And I prefer this theme song. It's pretty damn great. Really, when it comes to choosing the soundtracks, I just have Sonic Boom as the opening theme, Cosmic Eternity as the ending credits, and the level themes can go on shuffle. But I do wish Sonic CD, the complete soundtrack, would be officially released someday. As a whole, both soundtracks sound atmospheric and fit the levels perfectly, for me at least. Plus, the Christian Whitehead port gives you the option to use either soundtrack. Did I mention this port kicks ass? Okay, graphics and sound don't completely justify a game's existence. How are the levels? This is actually where most fans are split. While Sonic City received acclaim from critics, the Sonic fan base, unsurprisingly, have separate viewpoints about this game. Some people admire this game to the point where they consider it to be the best Sonic game ever made, but some people hate this game and say it has messy level design, and yeah, it kinda does. If there's one thing I could say about these levels that I'm sure both sides of the fanbase can agree with, it's that these levels are huge. It's understandable that bigger doesn't always equal better for people. Not to mention, these levels are not designed for people who like to hold right to win. Exploration is a major element in Sonic CD, and it's understandable why most people would consider this to be the best Sonic game if they're into exploring the levels. Now look, I love exploration in a Sonic game, but it needs to be balanced out with speed and platforming. And Sonic CD doesn't completely mess this up. The platforming is definitely there, and the speed is pretty well done too. But don't be surprised if you find a few speed bumps in levels, especially in Stardust Speedway. But let's go back to the start for a bit. Palm Tree Panic is a good introduction to the game. It helps you understand that the levels in this game are huge. Lots of big jumps and lots of exploring to do. There is an issue most people have with the game having lots of springs everywhere, especially those segments where you have two different springs bouncing you back and forth. However, these segments are great if you're trying to time travel. One thing that's neat is that time traveling can actually alter the level layouts. Really, this game has tons of variety if you just explore a little. Oh yeah, this is also the level where we're introduced to Sonic's annoying wannabe girlfriend, Amy Rose, which the original manual for this game thought she was Princess Sally from the Sad AM cartoon. Amy doesn't really do much except give Sonic a hug. At least you get an achievement for it. Yippee. Collusion Chaos is kind of like the spring yard zone of this game, mainly because there's a yard of springs and a lot of bump pads everywhere. The shade of pink they chose for the zone is pretty damn, pretty. This is also where we're introduced to one of Sonic's greatest enemies, Metal Sonic, who kidnaps Amy at the start of this zone. Are we sure he's really the bad guy? Another thing I'll say about this level is holy shit, the Bad Future music in the US soundtrack sounds completely badass. The next level is titled Tempest, or as I like to call it, Good Labyrinth. This level looks great, and it's nowhere near as frustrating as Labyrinth Zone. Oh yeah, instead of separating the levels in acts, Sonic City instead separates them by zones. So instead of acts 1, 2, and 3, it's zones 1, 2, and 3. Oh yeah, and this game apparently started production before Sonic 2, and also before the decision was made to have zones only have 2 levels instead of 3. Kind of. The first 2 levels in a zone are actual levels, and the third level is usually a boss fight with Eggman. Back to Good Labyrinth, there are parts where Sonic is underwater and he, of course, can't swim. But you can use shortcuts to skip them and beat the levels faster. This is my least favorite level in the game, but I still like it. The music is also very beautiful in this level. Quartz Quadrant. This level kicks ass. The electric guitar is perfectly used in this level's American theme. But as much as I love that version's music, the Japanese version has hands down the best track in the entire game, especially the music that plays in the good future. They're both right above Sonic Boom as the best music tracks in the game. The level also looks brilliant and it's pretty easy to get through. Wacky Workbench. A lot of people hate this level, but I find it way too much fun to hate. About 90% of the floor is some sort of electric trampoline that can bounce Sonic hundreds of feet in the air. The only thing I find irritating about this level is if I'm trying to time travel. It's completely luck-based, and you're barely given enough room to build up enough speed to time travel. In the past, there's this angel statue that can give you an achievement once you find it. It also spits out a bunch of rings every time you enter the small area it's located in. That can also help you get another achievement. Stardust Speedway. Holy dash pads, this level has Sonic quick on his fucking feet. There are so many dashboards, loops, and pads that switch which part of the level you're running on. I mean, lay off the cocaine, Starlight, I already loved you. Don't snort marijuana, kids.
Nigga, you don't snort marijuana?
This is also the zone where we have the iconic final race with Metal Sonic. Meanwhile, Eggman is chasing you throughout the race with this instant killing laser which he never bothers to use in future games. Moron. I like this part of the game, but I think this race could have been 10 times better if they didn't have a whole bunch of random spikes everywhere. You're already running up ramps and jumping off stuff, so what's with all the spikes? After you effortlessly beat Metal Sonic, you save Amy. Nah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's one funny, if pretty frustrating Easter egg, is that if you don't pause the game and just wait for about 3 minutes, Sonic will say, "I'm out of here," and jump off the screen, and the game over screen will come up. Don't worry, you don't lose all your lives, at least in the Christian Whitehead port. The game will just boot you back to the main menu and you'll have to replay the level. So if you gotta use the bathroom or something, make sure you actually pause the game. Oh yeah, this is technically the first Sonic game to include voice acting. Oh no, this series is suddenly complete garbage now. Oh, just why did they introduce voice acting? Why? Fuck off. Metallic Madness. It's basically a beefed up version of Scrap Brain Zone, except it almost lacks all the difficulty. I remember the second zone giving me trouble for a while. I get to what I thought was a dead end, but there's this walker looking thing that I discovered by complete accident, and you gotta use this to get up to this ledge. How was I supposed to see this? It looks like it's part of the background for first time players. Well, at least I could beat the level. Also, just look at this chibi Sonic. So cute. The final boss of Eggman isn't really that hard, but when I first played this game, I came across the enemies that were the bane of my existence for a while. These fucking Firefly Batniks. Nowadays they're pretty easy to kill for me, but if your timing is shit, you're gonna be stuck trying to kill these guys forever. So you rescue Amy, again, and you're treated to another animated cutscene showing Sonic holding on to Amy as he escapes the collapsing fortress of Eggman on Little Planet. In the good ending, Sonic oogles at Little Planet, completely restoring itself as it flies back into space, leaving a bunch of sparks and shit around Sonic. Sonic feels accomplished and gets back to running, I assume. I also really love the animated cutscenes they played during the credits, showing recreations of the adventures Sonic had in this game. After the credits, you are treated to a beautiful piece of animation, as all the sparkling stuff left by Little Planet's departure helps grow a meadow of pretty flowers, as the game congratulates the player by saying, "You're too cool." Aw, too kind. In the bad ending, we see Eggman escaping with a time stone until Sonic straight up picks up a rock and Spin Dash throws it at Eggman. I love that! Sadly, after the credits, it shows Little Planet popping back to Mobius, and the game tells you to try again like usual. And yeah, that's Sonic CD. It's pretty clear that this game can be nauseating for people to play, including Sonic fans. There's just a huge burst of colors and stuff just going super fast. There are so many loops, dash pads, springs. It's so clear why so many people can't get into this game's level design. It's a weird game with messy level design. What do I think? I actually kinda like it. I don't know why, but I really like the way Sonic CD is laid out. You can call it messy and weird, but I like messy and weird. Don't misquote me on that. It's not perfect, but I do think this game came pretty close to getting the Sonic formula right. You could almost say that Sonic CD is like a reimagining of Sonic 1 in the same way Jet Set Radio Future is to Jet Set Radio and Conquer Live and Censored is to Conquer's Bad Fur Day. If this was Sonic Team's intent, I think they did a pretty good job reimagining Sonic 1. Also, the Christian Whitehead port even provided a lot of extras to unlock. There's the DA Garden, where you can control the sprite of a Little Planet while making it change its color based on what level music you're playing, and you could also change the size of it. It's basically an interactive sound test. There's a visual mode that gives you the ability to rewatch the opening sequence, the good and bad endings, and this neat little pencil test. Then there's the classic sound test. This was also in Sonic 1 and 2, and in CD it acts just about the same. You can listen to all sorts of sound effects and music, and even weird little secrets if you put in certain numbers. The classic secrets that are brought back are Batman Sonic, Cutie Sonic, MC Sonic, Tails telling you to see you in the next game, which I think is the screen you get when you unlock Tails. Yep, Tails is an unlockable character in this port and he can fly, which is pretty great if you're exploring, even for time traveling. The last of the classic secrets is whatever the fuck this is. Christian Whitehead also included a few new secrets as well. We see a screenshot of an unused Sonic 2 level, Desert Dazzle. And we also see a screen cap of Final Fever, a new level that Christian Whitehead was going to put in the game as the new final level for Sonic CD, but he scrapped it at the last minute. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to completely alter the original structure of Sonic CD, I guess. Oh yeah, there's also a level select, which speaks for itself. It's a fucking level select. With all the secrets out the way, I'd like to praise Christian Whitehead again for fixing some problems the original Sonic CD had. The frame rate is now a flawless 60 frames a second, the game is now rendered in widescreen, and not to mention the option to listen to both soundtracks. No other version of Sonic CD has ever given us that option. I cannot express that enough. If you played the original Sega CD version or even the PC version, I think you're doing this game a bit of a disservice. I know I keep mentioning this guy, but I think Christian Whitehead did a fantastic job porting this game. It's quite honestly one of the best and most affordable ports I've ever played. Apparently the collision detection in the original Sonic CD was pretty crap, and to my knowledge I think the PC version kinda fixed this, but in Christian Whitehead's port he created a new physics engine for the game that he calls the Retro Engine. This got rid of the collision detection issues and I'm pretty sure it made the controls smoother. The Retro Engine would also be used for Christian Whitehead's mobile ports of Sonic 1 and 2, and it certainly makes the games more fun to play. Just a shame those versions of Sonic 1 and 2 aren't on PC and consoles. Yet. Hopefully. He was even going to do a port for Sonic 3 and Knuckles and even hinted towards this at the end of his Sonic 2 port, but Sega never gave him the green light, though he has shown that it is possible for him to do. If Christian does ever get that version of Sonic 3K to come out on mobile, I hope he could also get it on PC and home consoles along with the ports of Sonic 1 and 2 that he made. I'd totally buy and play the shit out of them, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other fans would do the same thing. These ports clearly have a lot of heart and passion thrown into them, and they're made by a Sonic fan, for Sonic fans, and I think it seriously could help newcomers become part of the Sonic fanbase. Now, the level designs may be weird and they're not completely perfect just yet, but Sonic CD is still super fun, the soundtracks are great, and I just love this game to pieces. So go buy this port off Steam, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live Arcade, or whatever you have, and just play the best version of Sonic CD. I'm definitely not afraid to give Sonic CD a 9 out of 10. It's hands down one of my favorite video games of all time. Go fucking play it. Well, that was a doozy. And I don't even consider Sonic CD to be the best Sonic game anymore. What do I think is the best Sonic game? Well, come back next time on Cooper's Perspective, still this month, when I review it, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Until then, thank you for watching and take care. I know that's an unoriginal line to end on, but what do you want from me? It's difficult to wrap up reviews, okay? So, some call me Johnny, please do not sue. God damn it.
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you, since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? Yeah!